Hello, this is Mike Lively from Northern Kentucky University, and today I'm going to show you how to add Pixel Bender to Papervision3D. And there's been a lot of blog posts out there, and some people believe you can't do it, but when I show you how easy it is, you're going to be amazed. And we're going to use Pixel Bender to do dynamic texture baking. Don't you love that? You know, one of the things I just really abhor about modeling in Papervision is texture baking. Now, if you've been in the business for a while, you know why, because it's labor intensive and you can never get it right. But to be able to do it dynamically, just to throw the texture on there and give it its lighting, to bake that lighting in programmatically is just incredible, and it can be done very easily in Pixel Bender. Now, if you're just tuning in, I am broadcasting the information from the Papervision book blog, and you can go to www.professionalpapervision.wordpress.com and catch all this information. So here's an example of a baked house. Now, the first one is unbaked dynamically. It's just an image thrown onto a house that we created in 3ds Max. And here I'm actually using Pixel Bender to put the shadow on the house. And look how nice that is. Now, you may look at this, oh, that's lighter, I like that. But actually what you're looking for when you're creating models is contrast. And that we're going to do dynamically. Going to show you how to build that Pixel Bender from scratch to do that. So let's come along here and play the demo. And here's the two houses right here. I've slowed it down a little bit so you can see the difference in texture baking. So like I said, the first one right here doesn't have a baked texture, and you see the second one does have a dynamically baked texture. Now what I mean is I'm kind of using kind of an oxymoron here, dynamically baked. Doesn't make any sense. I'm just using that because what we typically do to get lighting in Papervision to save space and processing is just in a sense create a light map and bake its light on and throw it onto the texture. Here that adds contrast. So you might like this one at first, but when you see the contrast of this other one over here, you go, wow, that's really cool. And that's what you want when it comes to lighting. Lighting is the most important aspect of 3D modeling. It's what gives your models realism. And when you look at this second image here, the one that's been dynamically baked in a sense, or has the Pixel Bender shading on it, you can see, boy, that looks really cool. That's got some realism to it. I could actually imagine myself walking up to this house at night, and there's a floodlight over here on the side, and as you rotate around, you see at the back that texture is dynamically, in a sense, a change, and that's as far as the lighting is concerned, and that's just super cool. And you can do that in Pixel Bender, and it is super easy. Let's go back to the blog and show you how easy it is to do. So we're back on the book's blog. I'm going to show you how easy it is to add Pixel Bender to Papervision3D. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is make sure you switch to the Flash 10 player. So if you're in Flex, you want to grab the Beta Gumbo and put that into your Flex, and I show you in an earlier blog how to do that. And if you're Flash, you naturally have the Flash Player 10. Now, Papervision 2.0 is written in ActionScript 3, so it's going to run just fine in CS4, so no problem with that. So let's go back up to what we need. So there's 3 steps to putting Pixel Bender into Papervision3D. After getting it into the Flash Player 10, then you need to create a Pixel Bender filter that will do the lighting for you. You need to create a Pixel Bender bitmap file material class, and you need to create a Pixel Bender material class. And you're probably going, that's really hard. No, it's not. All you really need to do is basically modify some things that are already there. So let's go down a little bit and show you how that was done. So in a previous post on Pixel Bender filters and algorithms, I created or showed you how a simple light worked. Let's take a look at that real quick. Here's that blog post, Pixel Bender filters and algorithms. And basically I had taken a filters class a long time ago, and I just put a bunch of those filters from my Visual Basic notes into Pixel Bender. There was grayscale, complement, brightness, exposure, color balance, binary contrast, simple pixelate, simple blur, and sharpen, and point light. That's what we want to look at right now. Now, one thing I want to say about Pixel Bender, it's really easy to use, and it's the interface is just really simple, so it's not hard to learn the language. And in this somewhat complex lighting equation, you've got a brightness exponent, you've got a decay here, you've got some somewhat of a very complicated equation, and what you want to do is throw all that away and make a very simple Pixel Bender equation. Let me show you what we did. We just threw out all the powers, and we ended up with a 1 over distance. And that's a big trick when it comes to creating filters, is that you can get those exponential fallouts, those exponential powers, without taking exponentials by using inverse distance. Hey, now that saves processor time. So our simple brightness equation is just brightness divided by distance, which is simply which is simply the coordinate minus the center. So we go over that in the previous blog. Just go back and take a look at that. This is the simplified version, and you know what? It works really good. So let's go on down a little bit, and here's the pixel code for that. Just maybe 3 or 4 lines here. Throw it in Pixel Binder, and boom, you have your pixel shader. So let's move on from here. So the next thing you want to do is you want to create a Pixel Binder bitmap file material class, just like in Papervision. Just make a copy of Papervision's bitmap material class and just rename it bitmap bim class, and then extend it with what's called a bitmap pixel material, which we're actually going to show you next. So in step 3, you want to make a copy of the bitmap material, and we'll just call it bitmap pixel material, and then you want to make sure you embed your Pixel Binder file. Now, when you export Pixel Binder for Flash, the file extension changes from PBK to PBJ, and you embed that. Now, you can actually bring that in dynamically, but I choose embed. And also going to embed the image. Now, you want to change this so actually you don't have to embed the image. You can bring them in dynamically for the images. But in this particular case, I just showed you as an embedded image. Then create a shader. After the shader's created, there's a bit of equations here required to basically bring the shader and the image together. And once you do that, you want to make sure you set those parameters. So I set the center to 400 and 306 on my texture. Now you got to realize what's happening here in Pixel Binder. The texture is on the house, and I'm basically just centering my light or putting my light somewhere on that house. So it makes it look like an external light shining on it from above or wherever you put that center. Then you want to change your brightness factor, and then you want to change your radius. That's pretty much how the light, how large or how pinpointy the light is. So let's go back and take a look at that equation real quick. And there's my brightness, just a multiple, and then there's my center right here where that light goes. So it's pretty cool. And the radius is just a factor added on to the distance right here. I don't show it right here, but pretty much you just change, it changes this division factor, and you get that exponential piece right. And then all you have to do is change the fill method, and you want to pretty much create a begin fill for a shader. And once you've done that, you're ready to go, and it's just that simple. And so if you want to see the entire code, go ahead and click this begin, this read the rest, and you can see the entire wrapper code for it. I give it all to you. Or you can go up and you can download the source. And that's pretty much all there is to bringing Pixel Binder into Papervision. Let's take a look at that demo one more time. There it is. No more texture baking. Isn't that fantastic? You have no idea. This is going to save me so much time, and since it can be adjusted dynamically, I no longer have to go back and remake an image and test it, remake an image and test it. I can just change a few parameters and go, oh, isn't that beautiful? Pixel Binder is really easy to bring into Papervision. You're wondering why the Papervision team hasn't done it yet, but they're actually rewriting Papervision from ground up. If you look at my code, you say, this is great, but I can make this more robust, and I assume that's what they're doing. And look at that. Isn't that wonderful? So there's really a whole lot of dynamicism that can be brought in using Pixel Binder, and there's a lot of fun ahead of us. So this is Mike Lively from Northern Kentucky University. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube.